evening, we walked through this beautiful national cemetery. As we did, we were guided by pathways that brought us here to Soldiers National Monument. While walking along the pathways, we were surrounded by the graves of fallen heroes and their enduring stories of sacrifice, sorrow, as well as extraordinary bravery. And those same pathways converge here to the place where in 1863, President Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address, considered one of the greatest speeches of all time. Gettysburg National Cemetery's pathways are America's enduring pathways that guide us through our history. And our enduring pathway is what we refer to as our brief educational component of the program. Before we sound tracks this evening for the enduring pathway, I'd just like to talk a little bit about the day that Abraham Lincoln came here to dedicate the cemetery and to deliver that famous address, as seen through the eyes of several young witnesses. Imagine what it would have been like to be here, to see Abraham Lincoln when he was here in Gettysburg. It was a Wednesday evening, November 18th, when Lincoln arrived by a patriotically decorated train at the Carlisle Street Depot downtown. Many cheering spectators greeted the president as he disembarked from the train and made his way to the David Wheels House. You might have visited there. If you haven't, we encourage you to do that down on the square. Now later that evening, crowds out in the street wanted to hear from the president. They cheered for him to come out and make a speech. Lincoln responded with a wave from the window. The crowd continued to cheer for his speech, and Lincoln finally appeared out on the York Street steps of the David Wheels House. Now there was a young man, 13-year-old William H. Tipton. He was an apprentice for Tyson Brothers Photographic Gallery. He was among the spectators. Tipton admired Lincoln greatly. He wrote, "My eagerness to see and hear the president other men, second only to the Almighty, centered all my attention on Mr. Lincoln, and no word or movement of his escaped my attention. That I heard that Mr. Lincoln was the homeliest man in the country. When my eyes beheld that sad but kindly countenance, whose strong rugged features seemed handsome to me." Now the next day, on November 19th, the streets of Gettysburg swelled with visitors. It's been estimated there were 10 to 20,000 people. Now, Lincoln stepped out of the Wheels House around 10 a.m. and joined in the procession on horseback. Now 8-year-old W.C. Storwick lived about 3 miles outside of Gettysburg, and he observed the following. "I saw Mr. Lincoln as he was about to start down the steps of the sidewalk. I was surprised, I might say awed, by his great height, his black hair and beard, his dark complexion, his head covered with a tall silk hat. I thought he was the tallest man I'd ever seen. I fancy I can still see him as he appeared to me that day." Now Lincoln remained on a very impatient horse for an hour before the procession We were on one side of a now. On the other side was a drum major covered with gold trim. My brother jumped across to be near that individual, and I was in the act of joining him. And I felt a hand on top of my head, turning me back to my mother, who was very much chagrined that I should have walked in the way of the president. I've never regretted my act of that day, for it gave me the right to say that I was patted on the head by Abraham Lincoln. Once again, we're honored to welcome Captain Retired Rick Barnes to tonight's bugle. Captain Barnes has a very distinguished background. He's a native of Elmira, New York, now living in Pasadena, Maryland. Captain Barnes was on active duty for over 20 years, with assignments in the U.S. Military Academy Band at West Point, the 26th Army Band, the U.S. Army Field Band, the Eastern Sector Headquarters, U.S. Military Entrance Processing Command, U.S. Army Elements Armed Forces School of Music, Naval Amphibious Base in Norfolk, Virginia. He's still serving in uniform in the state rank of Major in the Maryland Defense Force, the state guard that supports the National Guard in Maryland. He is the public affairs officer for the MPDF Band and the MPDF 10th Medical Regiment. He is also retired from the Voice of America in Washington, D.C. as a federal government and civil servant. In his retirement, Captain Barnes is a volunteer bugler at Cops for Veterans, a nonprofit charity providing buglers and sound packs for military funerals and commemorative events. Rick holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in TV, radio, and a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Music from Ithaca College, a Master of Music degree in Trumpet Performance, and a Master of Music in Instrumental Conducting from Kansas University of America. Grade school diploma in broadcast engineering from the Cleveland Institute of Electronics, and a PhD from very good PhD in Organization and Management from College University, and a postdoctorate certificate in public diplomacy from the University of Southern California in Los Angeles. He's also completed graduate coursework in Homeland Security from the Institute of World Politics in D.C. Now, in addition to playing the trumpet, Captain Barnes also plays electric bass guitar with the Living Waters Christian rock band at Galilee Lutheran Church in Pasadena, and bell trombone and the Righteous Tongue Jazz Ensemble and the Maryland Military. Thank you again. We get some very talented musicians. We meet here in Gettysburg National Cemetery, so we shall never forget our brave American veterans. We remain steadfast in our dedication to the great unfinished work which those who fought here, as well as in many foreign lands so nobly advanced. And we honor that they gave the last full measure of devotion so that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom and the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Lieutenant Edmund Dasper of the 2nd New Hampshire Volunteer Infantry Regiment. Dasper was born November 11, 1837 in New Hampshire. He attended Tufts University, but was unable to finish. He suffered from severe eye ailments that would leave him blind for weeks at a time. He recovered from these ailments and went on to become a teacher. He taught for 5 years. During this time, he took to poetry, became a poet and oration. Two really hobbies that were going to sustain him the rest of his short life. Now, he enlisted in the 2nd New Hampshire on May 21st, 1861. He fought with the 2nd New Hampshire at the Battle of First Manassas and the Battle of Williamsburg. At the latter battle on May 5th, 1862, he was dangerously wounded and he thought he was going to die. He survives, lives to fight another day. He comes to Gettysburg with the 2nd New Hampshire. At Gettysburg on July 2nd, 1863, the 2nd New Hampshire was overrun by Confederate forces down at the Joseph Surfy Peach Orchard, right down the road here, Emmitsburg Road. There he was shot and wounded. His regiment retreated, leaving him lying on the field among the dead. On July 5th, 3 days after his wounding, the survivors of the 2nd New Hampshire returned to the Peach Orchard. He was found there alive, taken to a field hospital, but died 8 days later. Now, reportedly, his last words were, "I enjoy the sweet consciousness of always having striven to do my duty." His comrades first buried him near the field hospital later that autumn.